What's up, everybody? It's your boy Josh with JTM Racing. What's going on? So we're going to be ripping the 305 out of the Nova today. I did pick up a cherry picker yesterday. I will show you that in the next clip. But yeah, we're going to be pulling the motor and the trans out of the Nova. So all we really have left is unbolting the exhaust or cutting the exhaust, depending on what I choose to do. Unbolting the tranny mount, the motor mounts, undoing some wiring, unhooking a fuel line, and dropping the drive shaft, and that's really it. So yeah, let's jump on it. All right, guys, so here's the cherry picker. Picked this up for 40 bucks off of OfferUp. It's probably about 20 years old. Thing still works. I really don't care about how it looks as long as it pulls the motor. So that's that. I'm gonna pull the tarp off of the Nova, and we'll get cranking on it. All right, so first thing first, we're gonna remove this ghetto ass exhaust. It's only hung by some wire. We're gonna cut that all off. Should drop back here. And then we're gonna cut the piping with a hacksaw or a sawzall right where the manifolds connect to your piping on both sides. And that whole thing should drop off, so let's do it. All right, guys, so we're not going to use a sawzall or a hacksaw. I have no blades for either one of them, and I don't want to go to the store, so we're going to do it the normal way and unbolt them. So I have all the bolts on the manifolds soaked in WD-40. I will be breaking them loose with a hand ratchet and then pulling them off completely with my little impact. Yeah, let's get cranking on them. All right, so while I'm trying to get that ghetto ass chain off of the hood, because I'm going to use that to pick up the 327 and move it so I can get the front end of the Nova in the garage, Willie's going to start removing some of this wiring. So like the alternator wiring, probably disconnect the fuel line, little miscellaneous things like that so we can keep moving forward. So he's going to be cranking on that while I try to get this chain off, because previous owner welded it on. So I'll be working on that for a little while. Fun. All right, so Willie disconnected all the wiring, the fuel line, the power steering lines. I'm going to take the carburetor off so I can put a chain on the intake manifold to pull the motor. And I'm going to take the distributor off so it's not in the way when we're pulling the engine. And then after that, all it is motor mounts, transmission mount, and tranny linkage. And we should be good to go. All right, so we got the carburetor off, the distributor out. Still got to unhook all the starter wiring. Yeah, we're getting there. There's the Edelbrock carb right there. There's the distributor. I don't know if I'll have the motor pulled today. I kind of been bullshitting a lot with the homies. So been kind of doing little things here and there real slow. So not cranking on it like I was when I pulled off the front end with Nick. But as long as we're moving forward, that's all I care about. And we'll see what else we get done today. All right, so I didn't get it on camera, but I removed the wiring from the starter and your power wire going to the starter. Here's this garbage ass power wire right here. And then here's the wiring that was also running to the starter, which is probably a couple grounds, and probably a signal wire. So yeah, got that removed. Now I'm gonna get under here, undo the trans linkage, and unbolt the trans mount. All right, so disconnected the tranny linkage, unbolted the trans mount. I also pulled out the speed cable while I was under there. I'm just gonna pull off this broken blower shroud right now just to do it. Looks horrible. So I'm just gonna yank that real quick. And all that's left is the engine mounts. And this bad boy should pull out. What else was there? Was there something else I was forgetting? Got the linkage. No, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm gonna pull that blower shroud off real quick and we're moving. So that came off super quick, super easy. I am gonna have to make a block off plate for that. What I need to do is take out this damn trash. This shit is overflowing. What am I doing? Willie's laughing because this is like the third time I've recorded this clip, but whatever. But yeah, need to make a block off plate for that. Clean up this whole firewall once the engine's out. Clean up all the wiring. All we really have left is to unbolt the engine mounts, and then we can pull this motor out. I'm not going to do it today just because I don't really have enough time. I got places to be, but that's all that's really left. So I'm going to be covering this thing up again. We won't put that on camera. You saw me cover it last time. But yeah, this whole firewall is going to be super clean when it's done. Painted. Subframe's going to be painted. And he'll look really nice once the new motor's going in. Trans is going to go out and get rebuilt with the aftermarket torque converter. All new U-joints. But yeah, we're getting there. And this thing looks so much cleaner without that donkey dick exhaust. We're getting there. We're getting there. So... Alright, so got the Nova all covered up with this small tarp. I know it doesn't look like it's the best job, but it works. That's all I care about. Moved the kit car floor pan outside just to have more space in the garage. Not going to be getting to the kit car anytime soon. It's not on my need-to-do list at all right now. Hopefully it'll get done in the future when I have more funds, more time, and some of the other projects are taken care of. But right now I'm not worried about it. But yeah, the garage has a lot more room right now, so I have a little bit more of a workspace. And then we got Willie here sitting down like always. And then here's the 327 out of the plastic, just because you guys haven't seen it yet, not wrapped. You probably can't tell from the video, but the paint job on the block isn't done too well. That's why I will be repainting it. It'll be getting a bigger oil pan, which is going to be like a 7-quart or an 8-quart, different valve covers, just little things to make it look better. And I think I said in the last video it's going to be like a gunmetal gray or this like black gold flake color, which I don't know where that color is right now. I think it's actually in this cabinet, so I'm not going to show you right now, but that's the motor out of the plastic. Some super big valves and valve springs. You got double springs in there. Probably for the cam if it's super aggressive. But yeah, we're getting there. One thing at a time, as long as we're moving forward. Like I said, that's all I care about. We'll have this motor yanked pretty soon here, so... Damn, boy. Look how sexy that ass is right there. Paul looks good at night. What's up, guys? So it's been about 2 weeks since the last clip. I really haven't had time to get out here, but I'm out here now. I did promise you guys I would have the motor yanked out in this video, so that's what we're doing. Just a couple bolts left. It's mainly the motor mounts. We got Willie starting up the computer, so we have tunes while we're doing it. And I'm gonna get dressed up and let's start cranking on it. Fish. Freedom. No, it smells like fish. It's freedom. All right, guys. So we got the drive shaft dropped. Forgot that we had to do that. Just unbolted it from the rear U-joint and then slid it out of the trans. Where am I at? There I am. Threw a glove on the back of the tranny just in case any fluid comes out of there. That seal should be fine. No fluid came out when we pulled the drive shaft out. What else did we get done? Drain the oil out of the engine. Just so there's no oil in there. Just in case when we pull the motor. Really wasn't that big of a deal, but might as well drain it while the motor's in the car. That shit's pretty nasty right there. Nice and black. But yeah, all that's left now is just the motor mounts.
right, so we got the motor and trans out, but the problem we're having is getting the motor and the tranny in the garage. We had the cherry picker's legs out in the rocks and dirt, and it buried itself into the ground, and we can't lift it up enough to get it in. So what we're doing is we're going to separate the motor and the tranny. So hopefully we take a little bit of weight off of the cherry picker and we're able to pick it up and get the motor in there, and then we'll just pick up the trans separately instead of in the garage. We probably should have thought a little bit more before we did this, but it is what it is, and oh well, we'll keep going at it. All right, so motor and trans is out. Plug the power steering pump with some ghetto ass bolts, whatever, it works. Just don't want water getting into it. Not too worried about this being in the rain or in the elements. Can't really hurt anything. Once I start putting some work into it, it'll be a little bit different. We'll keep it covered with some type of tarp. But right now I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, no motor and trans inside of the Nova anymore. So we have those in the garage. It's kind of a mess in here right now, but here's the transmission. We'll have to disconnect the tranny lines, and then we'll send this off to get rebuilt. And here's the 305. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get it in here because this cherry picker's ghetto as shit and doesn't like to roll, and it likes to tilt because one of the legs is bent. So we had fun trying to get the motor where it's at right now. But that's what happens when you buy a cherry picker for 40 bucks. That's 20 years old. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. And that's it. Yo, what's up everybody? So we finally got the motor pulled out of the Nova. Super excited, super stoked. But before I ended this video, I did want to go over a few things that I would have done differently. Where do I start? First thing first, don't rush. Don't rush the process. Don't rush the job. Just have patience. Saturday, when I was pulling the motor, I had somewhere to be by a certain time, causing me to rush. And it just got super unorganized. Tools were everywhere. I made a mess. I wasn't thinking straight. It could have just went a lot smoother and a lot better than it did. Let's see. Second, stay organized. Know where all your tools are. You know, ideally like a workbench, a cart, or all just in one place. That's another thing I did. I had tools just all over the place. You start getting carried away. You're just in the moment, working, trying to get something done. You lose stuff. You don't know where you put stuff. Stay organized. That'll make the job go better, faster. It's just an easier day. It's not as stressful.
And third, if you're pulling a motor with a cherry picker, have your car all the way in the garage on a concrete slab. If you're able to, and you have a garage or you have a concrete driveway. Don't do what I did, which you're gonna see that we were struggling, because like I said, I wasn't thinking straight. We had the cherry picker halfway on the concrete, halfway on the rocks. And once we pulled the motor in the trans, the front legs sunk into the dirt. Now, what I was thinking is that's not an issue. Me and Nick can just grab the legs on the front of the cherry picker, lift them, and as long as the wheels on the back of it are on the concrete, we could just roll this cherry picker in. That's what I thought. Now, I wasn't taking in consideration that a motor, transmission, and a cherry picker like that is probably weighing close to 1,000 pounds. We could have probably did it, but I don't think it's worth like straining our back. I have a bad back. Nick's a strong guy. It just would take a lot of force and a lot of strength to pick it up and actually move it. So, like I said, don't rush. I wish I had a little bit more time to actually think about what I was doing and actually be thinking straight if I wasn't rushing and thinking of the outcome. But I was rushing. So, like I said on the first one, don't rush. Second one, stay organized. Third one, just be smart. Plan what you're doing. Look for the best outcome. Now, is it always going to work that way? No. Which in my case, it didn't. But we got the motor pulled. We got the transmission out. We're moving along. It just was a little bit more stressful, a little bit more messy. And like I said, it just didn't go as good as I wanted it to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm super excited, super stoked that the motor and the trans is out, because now I can start cleaning up the subframe. I'm not too sure what the next video is going to be on. It could be the Nova, it could be the Civic, it could be the Impala. I still need a little bit more money, funds, for building the Nova. I do have some cash stashed away, but there's a bunch of like little things that I got to take into consideration that need to be replaced while I'm doing that, since I'm this far into the project. Like if I'm going to pull the motor and the trans, we're going to unbolt the subframe now, replace those bushings. Might as well paint the whole subframe. Just all kinds of miscellaneous stuff like that. Just so when it's done, it's as clean as possible. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Stay tuned. Please leave comments, likes, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Peace out.